All right. End of day comment. So we ended up closing mixed. The Dow reversed, erased its losses, closed marginally up. NASDAQ was down. Again, as far as I'm concerned, and many of you take issue with this or you like taking issue with this, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. As far as I'm concerned, today's action is meaningless. Yesterday's action is meaningless. And a lot of day to day action is meaningless. What is important is the trend, to use a cliche, or really what I'm talking about is the macro environment, because that is the thing that um, makes it all happen. And you know what? I mean, when it comes to stocks, and I've said this before, it's almost outside of the control of the people at the controls, because you figure you live in a relatively open, free society. People are encouraged in this country anyway, and in most free, open, democratic societies, they're encouraged to do the best they can in life. That striving, that constant desire for betterment, that's a growth function, right? Plus you have growing population, you have growing needs. As long as you are not constrained by actual physical resources. I mean, if we ran out of fresh water, which maybe is going to happen, I don't know. If you ran out of energy, okay, if you ran out of food, you got a problem. You got a big problem. But even in the most repressive countries, there's a tendency for growth, and then as you go down the list, it becomes less and less. I mean, obviously, North Korea is a state where whatever resources are there, and they have resources, they're just completely funneled up to the very, very top people. That's it. So everyone else really doesn't have much of a chance. Anyway, not to get too philosophical here. Look, I'll tell you a little story, okay? I traded for many, many years. Well, I've been trading for almost 40 years, but I traded many, many years on the floor of four exchanges. I was a member of the CME in Chicago. I was a member of the NYMEX in New York, the COMEX, and the New York Futures Exchange. And throughout most of my trading career on the floor, and really that's going back to the 80s and the early 90s, there was this very curious bearish bent that most floor traders had. Most traders that I knew, we loved to sell, okay? And we were always waiting for the market to crash. It was like so ingrained. It was weird, but we had a hard time buying. When I bought, I felt uncomfortable. When I sold, I mean, that thing could move against me. I was confident, but I never made money selling. I thought, from time to time I'd make big money and I thought, aha, I got this nailed. Let me tell you something right now. The smart money is on the buy side, especially when it comes to stocks. Commodities a little bit different story, even though over time, inflation naturally, just nominally um, increases prices. But commodities do have cycles that could last years, okay? But stocks are a different animal. I mean, like I said, they're really a growth function. Now, I've noticed just psychologically that people love to be negative. I mean, and they get angry when I say, the market's going up day after day. When I say that, they get angry. They get so mad. I get all these trolls and emails and stuff like that. What's funny is that people say, if you ask people, are you an optimist or a pessimist? Most people will say they're optimists, but they're not really. They're scared. They're scared. They're afraid. They're fearful, all right? And the slightest little thing, is going to make them want to run for cover. Courage, bravery, the ability to face one's fears, that's a characteristic, that's a trait that is not very common. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to say, hey, I have this all naturally. I had to train myself. I just told you, I spent the better part of my early career selling. Every little blip down, I was jumping on it selling, but it got me nowhere, all right? It was only in the last, I would say it was only in the last, 10 years or so that I really started to catch on because I was stubborn. I was stubborn in the bad way. Now, I'm stubborn in the good way in that I want to learn, I want knowledge, and I won't give up until I master it. So think about that, all you people who keep saying the crash is coming and the deficit and this is no good and that is no good. Go get yourself a chart and look back 100 years. It goes straight up. You barely, if you look at a chart of the stock market or national income per capita of the United States, going back to the very beginning, 1789, it's just a line that goes straight up. You can barely even see the Great Depression in there, okay? So if that's a thing you want to sell, more power to you. More power to you. All right? Anyway, that's it for today. We'll have a look at it tomorrow, but nothing. I attach zero meaning on yesterday and zero meaning on today. Today, actually, a little bit more meaning because, we settled in a positive direction, which that's the direction. I hate to tell you, people. That is the direction. You could accept it or you could fight it. I mean, it's not. I don't care. Me personally, I do not care. My bank account will grow, irrespective of what you want to do. Go ahead, because it's entertaining. All right, it really is. Have a great day or rest of the day. Bye.